Afternoon guys, and welcome to Sandhurst Lakes. It's my first visit to the venue, and it's quite a pretty venue, I quite like it. However, when I got here this morning, I get here half hour before my start time. You can get up to an hour before. Maybe I should have got down here a bit earlier, because by the time I got here there was a bucket in almost every swim. So I'm down for 4 nights. So it's quite a long session for me. I've got 4 nights here and then 2 nights at another venue. So it's Sunday now. I'm leaving here on Thursday, go to the other venue on Thursday, and I'll leave there on Saturday. So nearly a week's worth of fishing, which hopefully we'll get into some fish. Always difficult when it's a new water and you don't know what to expect. But like I say, I'm here, thought I'd give it a go. Now when I turned up, there was a lot of buckets in all the swims. So swim 6, which is down to my right, was available. One of the few that was, and I literally put all my gear in there, and spoke to some guys further up the bank, and they said, "Oh, we're not going in 8 and 9. You can have those swims if you want." So I opted for swim 8. So it's a couple of swims down, but it did mean lugging all the gear out the previous swim back down. I could have done it in the car, but I didn't want to, up and down in the car is not good, so I just loaded it on the barrow, brought it down. But a bit of a palaver. I baited this area about 15 wraps out, and on that arc, 15 wraps, I'm getting nice gravel, I'm getting silt, but when you cast the lead out, you can feel a donk on the silt, so it's only shallow silt, and then further around to the right there's some weed. So it took me a few casts to get the rods out, because these two are definitely out for the night or until something picks them up. So I wanted to get them on the spots and make sure I had a donk when the lead hit the bottom. The right hand rod took a few attempts because it was landing in weed, I wasn't getting the donk, and when I pulled it in I was getting this fine, almost like onion weed on the hook and the lead. But eventually I got a nice donk on it. So those two, right hand rod and middle rod set. Left hand rod is a bit further out. It's not on the baited spot that I've been doing, but I may pull that back onto the nice gravel area on the left hand side of the baited area that I've put the spombs out over. Obviously nothing's happened yet, I wouldn't expect it to. I've been watching the water. I've not really seen anything. I've seen one fish right over the opposite bank in the margin. Now I'm down here for four nights. Like I say, the weather is going to be warm. Today's the cloudiest day of the forecast, and it's meant to get warmer and warmer as the week goes on. However, it's got a northeasterly and it's rocking around to the northwesterly, and so I'm getting the wind pushing into this bank. I'm fishing in about 5 or 6 feet of water. I've not had the marker out. I've literally just relied on what I'm feeling on the lead. And there's maps online, and there's a map in the car park that shows you the depths of the areas. So judging by that, I'm between 5 and 7 foot of water. There are some swans trying to get your baits when they come out of the spots. But yeah, it's too deep for them to get down and reach. So that's good. Bait wise, I'm using the Odyssey XXX, and I've also got some cell boilies, which I'm using up. And what I've done is I've crumbed about 1 kilo of the Odyssey XXX, and I've also crumbed about half a kilo of the cell. So as well as the crumbed XXX, about 1 kilo, I put about 4 kilos of boilies, and mixed the crushed cell in there as well, so it's got little flecks of colour. Hopefully keep the fish guessing. So there's lots of small bits of bait that's going out in the spombs, plus whole boilies. And I've been soaking the whole lot in green lipped mussel extract, really pungent, smells like the seaside. So I've put all my eggs in one basket with the Odyssey XXX, but it's a bait I like. I've caught on it before, and I'm happy to use it. It actually reminds me very much of a bait that I used to roll for myself. and not having to roll it yourself, stick the house out and upset the other half is a bit of a bonus. So yeah, so I've got about 5 kilos of that, and there's a particle ban on the lake completely, so I've not even put any sweet corn in the mix or anything. It's just purely boilie. I don't know if there's many bream in here, I don't know much about the lake, but I haven't put any pellets in there. Purely boilie and crushed boilie. Okay, let me show you one of the rigs I'm putting out there. It's a short curved hook with the hair trapped using a bit of silicone tube on the bend and shrink tube for a bit of a kicker. The hook length's about 9 inches long from the bottom of the hook to the swivel. I've got it's a soft Camotex, bit of putty blob down the line. So if you can see that on there, bit of putty blob down the line. Quick change swivel, 3.5 ounce lead on lead clip, and some lead free leader on the line. On there I've got a bottom bait XXX, and topping that I've got one of the new Mark Pictures Carp pop-ups. Now that's going to be my right hand rod. So on the middle rod I'm going to put this. It's essentially the same rig, same hook pattern, the blowback rig using the silicone tube, same length of hook length, same hook length as soft, slightly longer hair with one bottom bait with the obviously XXX topped with half a Mark Pictures Carp pop-up. Now these are both just sitting there, just wafting above the hook. In fact, this one sits on the deck as it is like that, and this one just slightly off the bottom. Same setup on the lead for all rods, lead clip, 3.5 or 4 ounce lead, and some uncoat and some lead free leader. I've already got a left hand rod out with a pop up, and it's very about 1/2 inch off the bottom with the Mark Pictures pop up on the hinge stiff rig using the rigidity through the hook doubled over to a stiffer link, and it's very short. It's about 6 inches, maybe even 5 inches long, the hook length. I've already put that one out there. It's a bit further out. I'm just fishing it on its own. I've not got any bait out there. It's on the nice gravelly spot I found earlier, whereas the right hand rods and the middle rod are going to come back a bit where I've been spotting the bait out earlier, and that's about 15 wraps. So I'm going to get those out in a minute, and what I've put on the end of those, just wrap 3 bait stringer onto each of those before it goes out, and I might put a bit of foam on just so I can see where they are, and maybe even catapult a bit of a scattering of bait around with the catty, obviously. Okay, it's just coming up to 6:30 and I'm about to cook my tea. So tonight's meal is this king prawn chicken and chorizo paella. Now, I hope it tastes as good as it looks. Cooking it in the Ridge Monkey. I'll catch you in a bit. Okay guys, just coming up to 7:15, still cooking my paella. Got interrupted earlier. I did recast, I don't know if I told you, I recast my left hand rod. I've pulled it back shorter to the 15 wrap spot where I've baited, and I put a wafter XXX bait on there. No tipper, no colour tipper or anything, just a match the hatch boilie on there. Now I was sitting there cooking, and I'd had a few little knocks, little single bleeps on the left hand rod, sort of just thought it's the line settling. And then I had a few bleeps and the swinger was just creeping up, so I turned the cooker off, and just as I turned the cooker off, the swinger dropped to the floor. So I've gone out, picked the rod up, round down, and as I was winding down, my line was actually kited underneath my middle rod, and it's actually moved quite a distance. So whatever that was, I don't know. Obviously it was a bite of some sort. It's not a liner because the lead had moved quite some distance. I didn't feel anything on it at all. And like I say, I was worried about catching the middle line, so I've had to sort of reel it down underneath the middle rod, as it were. But yeah, nothing there. I mean, it could be a bream. I don't know if there's many bream in here. I don't know much about this lake. But yeah, sort of could be a bream where it can move the lead, just sort of goes that soft and they go on the arc, don't they? But yeah, frustrating not knowing exactly what it was. I'd like to have connected, but I suppose that's fishing for you. But there's activity in the swim, so let's see what happens. Anyway, paella's looking well. Should be done nearly in a minute. That's looking really well. It smells fab. So I'll catch you in a bit. Time for tea. So I've had my paella. It was delicious. Just washing it down with a bit of fatchers. Yeah, very nice. Lovely evening. It was drizzly and overcast this morning. Sun's trying to get through. Unfortunately, the swim I'm in is in the shade all day, but I may actually benefit from that in the coming days, because I think it's going to get very, very hot. But anyway, it's a lovely evening. The wind's dying down. Water's going nice and calm. There's a lot of spotting going on. I'm happy. The rods are out. I'm not putting any more bait out now, not unless I start getting bites. And you know, I want to keep the fish in the area. But at the moment, I've had that take on the left-hand rod. Like I say, it could be a bream. I don't think it was a carp, but it's a funny bite. Like I say, dropped right back. And when I picked the rod up, the line was going underneath the middle rod. So I didn't want to just lean into it and risk tangling the lines up. So I sort of tightened down with the rod tip in the water and sort of was hoping to make a connection, but I didn't feel anything. But it's back out in the same spot. We'll see what happens. Like I say, it's a lovely evening. Yeah, very nice. Nice to be on the bank. Fingers crossed. It's always a bit nervy when you get on a new water. You don't know if you're doing it right. Don't know whether to be on the gravel or the silt. Pop-ups, bottom baits, long rigs, short rigs. You know, there's so many variables. Like I say, it's back on the spot. It's just a waiting game again. And I do hope I haven't upset the carp gods with my mallet. Watcher. It's 9:15 and it's starting to get dark, so this is probably going to be the last vlog of the night. And you know how it goes. If something happens in the night, I'll let you know. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Fingers crossed, I'll see you in the night. See you later. Morning guys, and as you may have guessed by the lack of footage in the night, nothing has happened. It's been a very quiet night. I've not actually seen or heard much at all. I thought I'd get up early and have a look at the water, see if I could spot any fish, and it's still pretty quiet. But this is always my favourite time for a bite, so I'm holding out. So I'm going to have a cup of tea, continue watching the water, see if I can work out where they may be feeding by fizzing or showing, and I'll catch you guys in a little while. Okay guys, it's just gone 1:30 and I reeled in at 11 o'clock. I thought I'd take a walk around the lake, see what's happening. There was one fish out in the night, or this morning, 19 pounder, about 4 swims further down. I think that was it. But very quiet night. So on my walk round, I took my bucket with me just in case I fancied a change of swim, but I didn't. The swims I fancy are still taken. Some of the people in them are leaving tomorrow morning, so I'll keep an eye on how they get on, and if I see signs of fish over there, and obviously see how I get on. If I start having fish, then you know, I'll stay put. But yeah, nice to have a walk round in the sunshine because it's very shady where I am here. It's quite chilly, so chance to get a bit of exercise and have a warm up. So when I got back from the walk, I had a feel around with the lead further to my right, because there's no one fishing on my right, and the swim that I was in, number 6, is a short range swim anyway, so if anyone was to go in there, it still shouldn't interfere with me. So I had a feel around a bit further over to my right, using a bit more of the space I've got, and towards the tall trees over in the far corner at 11 3/4 reps, there's some nice little patches of gravel. There's also some areas of weed dotted around it, and I had a marker float out there, and it's 4.5, 5 foot deep. So I've put some spoms over there. I've also catapulted a spread of boilies over in the area, and put the right hand and middle rod on those areas. Because of the weed, I want to feel the lead donk down. It took me a few casts to get it on the right hand rod. Middle rod, first time it donked down lovely, so I'm happy with those. Same rigs as before, however on the middle rod I've gone for the pop-up rig, with a Carping pop-up, and yeah, that's using the hinged stiff rig. So bottom baits on left and right, pop up on the middle, just to see if it does anything. I've not put any bait out where I was last night yet. I will put some out there later, but I've put the left hand rod back on the same spot. Now, I told the bailiff about the drop back I had yesterday, and I said it could have been a bream. He said, well, that's impossible because there's no bream in here. He said there's a few tench, but yeah, there's no bream, so that's good to know. But still makes me wonder what actually happened last night with that drop back. It could have been a trailer, could have been a fish trading some line, who knows, one of those unexplained things for fishing. But hey, anyway, rods are out. I probably will have a recast before it gets dark, and top up with a bit more bait in both spots. Left hand rod and right hand rod are going to keep in those areas. Obviously if the left hand rod goes, I may move the middle rod towards the left hand rod, and if the right hand rod goes, I'll keep the middle rod where it is. So it would be nice if one of these goes off today. I've got a feeling it's a night stroke early morning water. Don't ask me why, I just feel that way. But if it does go off, obviously happy days. If not, I'll refresh the rods about 5-6 o'clock this afternoon. In the meantime, I'm going to have a bit of lunch, and I'll speak to you later. Okay guys, 26, and I'm in the bivvy because it's quite windy out, and I don't know if the sound will work very well, but I've been in the bivvy. Although it's very sunny out, it's actually very chilly in the swim because you've got no sun, always in the shade constantly. So I've got the rigs ready for the night, got the baits on them ready to go, just need to reel the other rods in, clip these on, and cast them out. So pretty simple, pretty basic for me. You've seen it all before. It's the standard blowback rig that I use, and a standard sort of hinge stiff rig. On 2 of those I'm going to use just a wafter of the XXX, match the hatch style, and on one of them I'm going to be using the Mark Pictures pop-up, topping a bottom bait. It's been pretty choppy most of the day. There's been periods when it's died off. When it has died off earlier, I've seen some fish milling around on the surface to my left, not in my water, but not a million miles away, sort of in front of the swim next door and the swim next to that, a little bit further out than I'm fishing. But they was milling around on the surface. The wind's been picking up on and off. It died down a few seconds ago, and I had a look outside, and yeah, there's still a few fish milling around, so they're not far away. So I'm thinking to get the trap set early and maybe get an early evening bite, who knows. That's the plan. I know what you're thinking. What is for tea tonight? Thai style coconut chicken curry. Lovely. Gonna stick it in the Ridge Monkey and tuck into that in a bit. See you in a bit. Which guys, just thought I'd catch up. It's 20 past 8. The lake's getting calmer with the wind dying down and the fish are really active. I've just had a proper chunk jump out right over the top of me baited spot on me left hand rod. Most fish I've seen are a bit further out. There's definitely some on that line with my left hand rod. Oh, nearly went over. It's not the Thatchers, I promise. But yeah, a lot of activity going on out there. I'll try and get some on camera if I can, but yeah, it's looking very promising. So gonna drink this and watch the water. See you in a bit. Morning guys, it's 5:30 and as you can tell by lack of camera action, nothing has happened. I've not even had a bleep all night, which surprises me when I think about the activity that was going on yesterday evening. About 8 o'clock last night the fish were showing well, there was fish topping, fizzing, had that big chunk jump right over the top of me left hand rod, and yeah, I was feeling pretty confident. I went in the sack last night, but it just didn't happen. So we're still coming up to a good time. I mean, it's still prime time really. So we'll see what happens in the next hour or so. I'll have a cup of tea and think about whether I'm going to move or not. Now I'm in that situation where I've put some bait out. I've had fish over the baits yesterday evening. Now, do I stick it out and keep going on the same spots, or do I go for a change of scenery and a different swim altogether? And I know whatever I decide to do, I have to make my mind up quick, because if I don't make my mind up, you know that someone's going to turn up, drive in the car park and go straight into the swim I think they're going into. That's carp fishing these days. It's as much about beating the other anglers as it is the fish. But let's see what gives. And have a cup of tea and have a ponder. Catch you in a bit. Okay, it's just gone 8 o'clock, and I had to reel in earlier, mainly because I needed to use the facilities, but let's not talk about that. I thought while I've got the rods reeled in, I'll go and have a look over the other side as well. Nothing's come out apart from one fish on the island. 26-pound common came out last night. So I walked around the pipe swim. I was talking to the fellow in there. He hasn't had anything, but he said he saw a fish showing last night, but obviously they were showing everywhere. To be fair, I really thought it was going to happen here last night. Now part of me thinking, should I stay? Part of me thinking, should I go? But I have put a bucket in the pipe swim. The guy's leaving about 11ish, so I sort of come back from there, use the facilities, and put the rods out for the time being, just in case. And in the meantime, I'm going to start slowly packing the gear down, ready for the move. But yeah, we'll see what gives. I'll see you in a bit. Watch guys, it's just gone 12 and I've moved. I'm in the pipe swim. Put the brolly up, got the camp set up, got the rods on the pod, ready to go. I've yet to have a figured around. I've seen a fish roll just to my left, not far out, so I'll be putting a bait on that. But I thought I'd just get all the heavy duty work, getting the camp set up before the sun really comes round onto the swim, so I've got a bit of shade. Like I said, I'm just sitting in the shade of the tree. The sun's going to move around in a matter of minutes, I think, and then I'll be in the full force of the sun. Got some sun cream to put on, so I'll be doing that in a minute. But before I put the rods out, I'll a bit thirsty, so I'm gonna have one of these. Lovely. And I'll catch you in a little while. Nice. Oh yeah, very nice. Morning guys, it's just getting on for 7 o'clock and nothing, very quiet night. I had a great sleep, but that's not what I'm here for. I did wake up about 4 o'clock to scan the water, decided to get back in the bag. As I got back in the bag, fish crashed out over, well not over, but near my left hand rod. Anyway, put my head back down. I got again about 5 o'clock. Again, scanned the water, not a lot going on. And like I say, I thought, now I'm up, have a cup of tea, and yeah, see what it gives. Looks like it's going to be another gorgeous sunny day. Another hot one by the look of it. Not ideal again, not exactly what we want, but it's what it is, isn't it? You know, I put this a couple of weeks ago, didn't know what the weather's going to be. It's a chance you take. Not ideal carp fishing conditions, but let's make the most of it. I've got my sun cream later for later, and yeah. So like I say, I thought I'd get up, have a cup of tea, tie some fresh rigs up before the sun gets round here, because when it gets round here it's pretty uncomfortable. I did end up sitting just outside the swim in the shady spot for a little while earlier, but yeah, it was pretty hot. I'm going to crack on, have a cup of tea, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, time for an update. It's nearly 9:30. Nothing happening on the rods, not a bleep. However, I have seen a couple of fish top not far, or almost on the baited spot for me middle rod, so that's promising. There's been a few fish showing dotted around the lake this morning, but not in numbers. Talking of numbers, there's a lot of anglers turned up this morning. Big parade of people came walking past me this morning with their buckets looking for somewhere to fish. Some people are obviously packing up, and some people are moving and swapping swims like I did yesterday. So yeah, it's like a changeover at an hotel. But yeah, so I think at the moment there's either people or buckets in most swims, and from what I can see there's only 2 or 3 swims actually free now. So interested to see what the pressure does to the fish, whether it gets them moving around. Who knows? The wind's been blowing into my face, hence my jacket. Seems funny after yesterday being cold in this swim, but the sun's moving round, and before long it's going to be on me again. So yeah, this won't be on for long, I don't think. Anyway, I'm waffling, and I'll catch you in a bit. Okay guys, just gone 4 o'clock, and I thought I'd have a catch up. I've not been ignoring you, just not a lot's been happening. I reeled in about 1 o'clock, had a walk around the lake, spoke to a few people, used the facilities, and came back, and I recast about 3 o'clock. The 3 pop-ups on each rod again, all out pop-ups because of the onion weed that's out there. Very short pop-ups from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Hopefully that's enough to sit above the onion weed. Yeah, so on the right hand rod I've got a pink pop-up, middle rod I've got a XXX pop-up, and on the left hand rod I've got a live system pop-up. Left hand rod is just past the tree you see in the background there. It's 11 wraps, sort of that way. I've seen a few fish showing in that area. Middle rod, right hand rod, 15.5 wraps, no 16.5 wraps, pretty much straight out towards swim 10. there's nice sort of gravelly patches, same areas I was fishing last night, in amongst some weed. There's some patches of weed, so I'm feeling for the donk on the cast. But what I'm finding is, even with the donk, I'm still pulling back the onion weed. Hence the reason I'm going for pop-ups tonight on all 3 rods. I think it's very shallow weed. You're feeling the gravel underneath, but it's sitting in weed. So yeah, just playing safe really with pop-ups. It may or may not work. Obviously, only time will tell, and won't know till tomorrow really. But they're out. It's nice and early. I'm going to let the swim settle now. So anyway, yeah, I've put about 8 spoms over between both the rods, middle rod and right hand rod, in between the 2, and left hand rod I've just pulted about a dozen baits out over in the vicinity. So I've dotted them around, so it's a nice spread, just so if any fish that are in the area get a taste, they can swim around and keep picking up a boilie here and there. But I've not overdone it, because I've seen the fish in the area. It's obviously an area they like to visit, so I'm not going to overdo it and potentially spook them off with a better bait. So that's the plan. So all I can do now is sit and relax and enjoy the view. So hopefully one of these will go off later. I really hope so. Update time, folks. Not a lot's happened. It's nearly 8:30. I've had my tea, had a nice lasagna which I've cooked in the Ridge Monkey. Very nice it was too. And yeah, I've left the rods out since I cast them out this afternoon, and yeah, they're staying there until something happens or I reel in. But yeah, so nothing to report really. There's been a couple of fish showing in front, a couple just over the back here, just sort of not far from where I've had the bait at me 11 wraps, or maybe a little bit further, but general direction, and a couple in the open water as well. The majority of the fish today have actually been over the other side though, opposite, well, near to swims 11 and 12. But saying that, it seems to slow down a bit, the fish showing over there. I've seen more fish over here in the last sort of few hours than I have over that side. So you never know, they may have moved, because the wind has been pushing down this way all day into my bivvy. Maybe enough to get them moving, who knows. But we'll see what happens. And again, cross those fingers and hope for the best, and pray to the carp gods. I really want one of these to go off, so can only hope. Sit and wait and enjoy the view. Anyway, I'm going to catch you later, hopefully with a fish, but probably be a morning call again. See you in a bit. Well, good morning. As you could guess, nothing's happening tonight. Couple of bleeps, nothing major. Again, pretty good night's sleep. That's a bonus. But I've just been lying in the bed watching the water. There's been a couple of shows right in the middle of the lake. That's about it I've seen. So I'm lying in the bed watching the water, and the left hand rod has tightened up. Now I've got back nets on because I'm worried about the fish hitting the lines. So the line's tightened up. I've run out with no shoes on, scanned the water, make sure there's no birds in the area, and there wasn't. and yeah, the line was still tight, so not solid tight, the rod wasn't bent over, but I decided to hit anyway. When you've been here for 4 nights and you get an indication, if I'd have left it and nothing happened, I'd have been wondering. So yeah, I hit into it, nothing there, so I've just put it back out on the spot. That's on the live system pop-up, yeah, just past the tree on my left. So what it was, don't know, but like I say, there wasn't bird life in the area at the time, so it wasn't the birds diving down, because I've had that where they dive down between me and my baits and they're picking the line up. One of the reasons I put the back leads on, try and stop them from doing that. They're going down picking up the weed, and when they're doing that they're hitting the line. Yeah, so it wasn't that, it was some sort of fish movement, could have been a liner, who knows, we'll never know, I guess. But anyway, last chance saloon now. I'll see how it goes this morning, but I'm off to Watergate Farm later for a couple of nights, so I don't know if anything's been happening tonight. I didn't see much activity or hear much activity, but like I say, I did sleep pretty well, so yeah, there's a chance something's been out, but I'm not aware of it. Anyway, I'll have a cup of tea. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Okay guys, just gone 9 o'clock. The wind's picking back up again. Again, it's blowing straight down into the billy. It has been flat calm up to about 5 minutes ago. There's been a few fish showing. I've had a few fish crash out to my left, further out, so I've pulled the left hand rod in and put it where I've seen the fish showing. That's about 18 wraps. Middle rod and right hand rod still untouched from yesterday, but see what happens. You never know, miracles can happen, but I do feel like I'm going to be going home with my towel between my legs on this one. Yeah, it's been fishing hard. Fellow over the other side had a fish about 7:30, 8:15 in swim 11 where the fish have been showing, so yeah, that's nice to see some fish coming out. So that's 3 fish that I know of over the period I've been here. There may have been more out last night, but I don't think so. I'm talking to the bailiffs and they've not seen or heard anything. So yeah, I'm thinking that it's 3 fish out since Sunday, which is really slow going, considering there's like 38 fish or something out at the weekend for the bait company. Yeah, it's been slow and hard. So anyway, unless something does happen, this probably is the last of the session at Sandhurst. But I'll get the gear in the car and shoot back, head back towards home, and but I'm stopping off at Watergate Farm for another 48 hours. Some nice fish in there, so it'd be nice to get amongst those, but it's not an easy lake, so again it's going to be a case of fingers crossed. But 4 days on the bank fishing definitely beats working. Good evening guys, it's just coming up 7:20, and as you can see I'm at the next venue. I really enjoyed my stay at Sandhurst. I would like to go back. I enjoyed it a lot. Bailiffs are amazing, very helpful and friendly. If you do go, it's a bit dog eat dog regarding the swims, with the buckets and the swims, and you've got to be conscious of the distance that you can cast in each swim. There's a board up in the car park, so if you go in, check the swim you're in and check how far you can actually cast. There's a lot of to-ing and fro-ing, people over casting onto each other, but the bailiffs soon sort it out, all nice and amicable, and everyone's happy. But as you can see, I'm at a new venue, so that's the end of the Sandhurst vlog. And if you want to watch what happens in the next 48 hours here at Watergate Farm, completely different venue, it's only 2 or 3 acres, lots of nooks and crannies, then please watch the next vlog. Thanks for watching.